Are we weaning? I don't know. Hey YouTube. So I wanted to take a few minutes. We're having a crazy snow day here at my house, and the big kids are out playing and Carter's taking a nap. So just kind of wanted to talk with you guys for a minute about something that has come up. So I posted on last week in my update video about where I was. I said that Carter was still breastfeeding and he was 17 months old, and a lot has changed in that 1 week. So Carter's typical nursing schedule was wake up, nurse, eat breakfast, nurse down for nap, nurse down for a second nap, and that was hit or miss because some days he'll take 2 naps, some days only takes 1. Depends on what time he wakes up and how long he took a morning nap for and what time he took his morning nap for. And then he always nursed down to go to sleep at night. And then I started noticing that if I was busy doing stuff around the house, or I had to go out and do something in the evening and come home, Carter would be sleeping and he was going to sleep without nursing. And I kept thinking, well, that's weird. Well, then within the last week, he seems to have essentially self-weaned. I guess so, sort of. It's like we're kind of in this in-between stage, and I'm not really sure like what's going on, and I am really emotional about it. More emotional than I thought, because, you know, as you guys know, if you've been a subscriber for any amount of time, you know that I had my breastfeeding struggles. I had to relactate because I had lost all my milk supply, and I worked really, really hard, and I kept joking with all my friends. I was like, if I ever get my breast milk back, let me tell you, I am breastfeeding till the kid is like 10, and it was totally a joke, but whatever. You know, I was just like, this is so much work, and I did it, and I don't want to stop. And, you know, when I got pregnant with Carter, he's the only kid out of 4 that I've breastfed. And, you know, with my first one, I really, really, really wanted to breastfeed, and then, like, they latched her, and I didn't like the way it felt, and it was just awkward, and, you know, it's probably TMI, but I have really sensitive nipples, so I'm that type of person that I'm never not wearing a bra, can't stand facing a shower, I don't like them touched, and I think there's a lot of psychological things behind that for me, and I'm not going into that in this video or possibly ever, but it was just really hard for me. So with my second child, I didn't even try. And then with my third, I was like, you know what, this is the last time I'm ever going to be pregnant, so I want to try. And I remembered reading. I didn't really take any breastfeeding classes, and just talking to friends of mine who had breastfed, and said that I really wanted to breastfeed my last one. And when I was in the hospital, they latched him on, and I remembered I was sitting in the bed, and the feeling of him being latched on my nipple was, it's almost like nails down a chalkboard for me. So I was kind of kicking my feet, and I'm like, all my friends said, just 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, because everybody kept telling me that the first 5 minutes is tough, and then after that your nipple goes numb, you don't feel anything. And the nurse beside me said, why do you keep saying 5 minutes? And I said, well, oh, I think Carter's awake. He's here. He was awake. So we're going to snuggle, and I hope he doesn't keep blocking me. But the nurse kept saying, why do you keep saying every 5 minutes, or, you know, 5 minutes, 5 minutes? And I said, well, all of my friends kept saying that it would go numb after 5 minutes and I'd be okay. And they said, she was like, oh no, honey, that doesn't happen for quite some time. And I was like, it was very discouraging for me. So I was like, and I just like unlatched him, and I was like, I'm done. And then I remembered saying, do you think that I could try to pump? And it's funny just how hospital support staffs can have such a huge impact on what happens with someone. Because she said, no, you can't pump. Because you actually need tongue on nipple stimulation in order to produce milk. Which we all know that's a crock of crap, but whatever. So, I mean, I believed her. She was a nurse. I was 24 at the time. This was, you know, of course, 10 years ago. And I was like, oh. And I said, well, what about a nipple shield? I said, maybe I could try a nipple shield, because for me, it was that actual feeling of his tongue on my nipple that was like, ugh, for me. And she said, no, that doesn't work either, because like I said, you need tongue on nipple stimulation in order to produce milk. So it, it just never happened for me with the other 3. And I remembered, like, one of the driving forces behind trying to have Carter was, we wanted another baby. But I really wanted to try to have, like, that breastfeeding relationship. So, when I got pregnant with Carter, I was still kind of on the fence about whether or not I really wanted to breastfeed. But I was very on the fence about whether or not I was going to be able to breastfeed. So, we talked to my doula a lot about it, and she said, well, have you ever tried a nipple shield? And I said, well, I don't know. So, that was kind of the start of the nipple shield process. And honestly, it really was for the best that we had the nipple shield, because I don't know if you remember in some of my really earlier videos, Carter was completely tongue-tied at birth. Like, the tip of his tongue was down underneath of his, under like back where, if he had teeth, where his teeth would be. He was completely front tongue-tied, which we had to have that clipped the next day, because he couldn't even physically push my nipple up to really breastfeed well. So it was essential that he had to have it clipped in order to work. And the nipple shield that first 24 hours until we got him in there, you see the snow, was allowed me to be able to breastfeed him. Now, in the long run, they think that that might have been one of the reasons why I lost my milk supply, because he wasn't able to, I wasn't using it correctly. So, not really for nipple shields, but it really was a make or break for me. But anyway, I just, once we got through all of that, and I relactated, and I got, my supply back, and he was breastfeeding, during that relactation process, I had to use the nipple shield in order to get him to latch on. I used an SNS, so I used the nipple shield along with the SNS, and then we had to wean off the nipple shield. And I've been breastfeeding without a nipple shield since he was about 14 weeks old, so probably, well, maybe about 12, between 12 and 14 weeks. And it was great, and I love breastfeeding him. And I was talking to my best friend last night, and I said, I'm so emotional about this, because what ended up happening was the day before yesterday, which was, today's Thursday, when's Tuesday, Carter was really cranky for a nap, and I took him upstairs, and I was rocking him in the rocking chair, and I tried to latch him on, and he physically pushed me away and leaned back, and he cried, and I was like, well, that's odd. And then he didn't breastfeed anymore, and I was like, what is going on? So I posted, like, on my Facebook and in a group that I'm in, and I'm like, I think he's weaning. Like, he wants nothing to do with it. He went to bed tonight with me home without me breastfeeding. I don't understand what's happening. And then I was crying, and I was really upset, and I said, I wanted this to be a child-led thing. We do Montessori, and we allow Carter to lead us wherever he wants to go, and scaffold whatever we need to scaffold to get him to the next level of something he's trying to achieve. And I knew that breastfeeding was going to be a child-led wean. I guess I was expecting to at least make it to 2 years. And I can't really be upset with myself, because when I didn't think I was going to be able to breastfeed him, my goal was 1 feeding. And then it was 1 day. And then it was 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. And then, through that, it was just really hard for me. I really wanted to really make this work until 2. And if he chose not to, then obviously it's his, and I'm not going to force him. But then I kind of felt like, well, should I be offering when he's not asking? And, one of the girls in the group made a really good comment, and she had said, well, if you're offering because your body's asking you or telling you you should offer, then you're not really going against nature, and you're not really going against the child-led design. You're doing what your body's telling you to do. And if he doesn't want it, he's not going to take it. So it's not a big deal. And I agreed with that. And so I offered that night, and he wouldn't take it. And then yesterday morning, he woke up, and, he sleeps in bed with us most of the time. And I normally wake up to him, he points, and he'll go, booba, booba. Or some mornings he'll just go, because he wants to nurse. And I woke up, he was rubbing my face, because he does that a lot. Ooh. he rubs my face a lot when he wakes up. And I opened my eyes and I said, "Good morning," and gave him his kiss, and he started doing this, which is signing for eat. And I said, "Booba?" And he said, "No. Eat." And he climbed down out of my bed, and I knew that meant he wanted to go downstairs to make breakfast. So we went downstairs and we made breakfast, and I was like, this is odd. So I sat down and I tried to breastfeed him, and he was like, "No, I don't want it." And I was like, okay. And then it was funny because like one of my daycare moms had walked in, and I was like sobbing, and I was like, "He won't breastfeed, and I think he's weaning, and I'm just not ready." And she was like, "It is, it sucks." She was like, "I breastfed all my kids longer because, you know, I knew it was going to be my last kid." And she said, "Every kid I had, I thought it was going to be my last, and I breastfed them a little bit longer each time because I didn't want to stop." And I was like, "I know." I was like, "I should be happy. We made it 17 months. So, it is what it is." And then, so it made me feel a little bit better. And then Carter ate breakfast, and he wanted to cuddle on the couch, and so we cuddled on the couch. And then he asked, he started pointing, and he said, "Booba?" And I said, you want to breastfeed?" So I put him on my lap, and of course I pulled my boob out, and he nursed for 3 minutes. 3 minutes. And then he was off. And I was like, okay. So I was like, well, I guess he got a little bit of, I don't know. And he's watching it snow. And then later that day for nap, he wanted to nurse again. He nursed for 4 minutes and fell asleep. And then didn't nurse anymore yesterday. And I'm like, okay, this has got to be it. Like, this just has to be it. And then today he woke up, and I woke up to what I would normally wake up to. And he had actually slept in his bed last night, all night, from 7:30 till 6 o'clock this morning. And he came into my room, and he climbed up into the bed. I kind of helped, I helped him climb up into the bed. And he pointed, and he said, "Booba?" And I said, "Can you sit on your bottom, please?" So, thank you very much. Actually, he didn't sit. He's standing looking out the window. Carter, I need you to sit on your bottom. Hey, stop yelling at the doggy. Sit on your bum. Sit down, please. Sit down, please. So, I nursed him, but he nursed for 30 minutes. And then he fell back asleep and slept until about 8 o'clock this morning. And then he got up and wanted to go downstairs for breakfast. And we went and had breakfast. And then for nap, or I'm sorry, not even for nap, he actually fell asleep sitting on my lap. But he came back to me after breakfast and said he wanted to nurse again. So I nursed him again, and he nursed for another 30 minutes. And I'm not complaining because I was like, thank you. Not only that, but I really needed the relief because it was really engorged. And he then, went around and played. He's been very, very snuggly today, like wanting to just really snuggle with me. He's going to terrorize the dog. And he's not that close to the fireplace. I know it looks like that, but he's really not that close. Perception is really bad here. Be gentle, thank you. And I don't know, I guess I'm feeling, I don't know, is this self-weaning? Am I going to wake up tomorrow and him not breastfeed anymore? I just got to figure out what to do with my emotions with that, because, Carter is our last baby. We are not having any more, and I guess I'm just not ready to really let go of that. I mean, I know he can't stay on the boob forever because he is a toddler, and he's, 17 months old now, and I just really, really wanted to make it till 2, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And, I mean, I'm okay, I guess. I don't know. I just got to figure it all out. So if any of you moms have also dealt with any of this and that feeling of completeness because you know that it's never, ever going to happen again, like, let me know how you dealt with it, or give me some words of encouragement, because I'm just not sure how I feel about this right now. But, thanks for watching, and I hope I didn't ramble too much, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.